How's it going, patrons? Just doing a little bit of work down the back of the property, and I thought I'd bring you along and show you what I'm up to. So, as you folks know, we haven't had the chooks for a while, so what I've been doing is collecting bucket loads of scraps and coffee grounds at a time. I'm just letting them build up in the bucket until we have enough to bury out in one great big heap. Basically what we're doing is trench composting. I've got little piles. There's a little pile behind or a little hole dug behind the banana, and there's a series of them around the back of that ginger bed there. And I started off actually up underneath that finger ginger bed there. So there's a few dotted around the place, and in fact there's a whole heap of fish right underneath this water chestnut barrel. So the idea behind it is basically putting some nutrients back into the soil here, because I will be sheet mulching with all those Chinese elms. Hopefully I'll start tomorrow after the hangout if it's not too hot. But first what I'm going to be doing is putting down layers of these cardboards just to help suppress any of the bits of grass down there. I see no point in digging them all up. I could dig them all up, flip them over and put them back down, but yeah, I'll just put the cardboard down to help suppress them and then pile on the mulch. It might mean we're going to lose things like these sweet potatoes, but if I know the sweet potatoes, I'll find a way to make it through. A few things I will be doing before I cover it up though is getting a few more of these little Egyptian spinach seedlings out. There's a whole heap of them. Some of them actually look rather healthy, so I thought I might try and save a few of them. But in saying that, I mean, we've got some really healthy ones coming up here in this turmeric bed that I've just let go, as well as the odd amaranth and eggplant too. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you the trench composting method. I do know a couple of people who will dig a trench right in front of their in-ground garden beds. They start at well, they don't dig the trench all in one go obviously, but they'll start at one end and they'll dig a hole and they'll pop some in, move over a bit, and they'll do it continually all along the front of their veggies or between garden beds. And then when they stop, they start again at the top there, do the same thing, dig a hole, put the scraps in and work their way along again. The idea being is that this is basically food for the worms and other microorganisms, as you know, in the soil. Got to feed your soil, keep it happy. So that's just one method to continually fertilise the garden beds. The compost worms come down and the garden worms feed in there, then move out to the garden beds either side or the garden bed next to it, and yeah, deposit their beautiful castings. So I thought I'd just share this with you folks. I might also give you a bit of a look down the back here. The coffee is going well. It's put on a load of new healthy growth, and the beans don't look like they're formed. So whether I didn't have enough nutrients in there for them or they didn't get pollinated, I know those guys seem to have stuck. A lot of them have fallen off though, the flowers that were up a little bit further, and those guys there, yeah, and there's not a lot of action, so it may take a while for the beans to form. Over here in this finger root barrel I popped in another turmeric because I started to dig some up and just pop them into pots. The idea being is I might try and sell some to some locals. So what we've got is 4 pots of galangal, and then along the back we've got 8 advanced turmeric, and then we've got some little turmeric bits. Some have started to shoot already, none in that one. Down here we have the Egyptian spinach I potted up. This little one here didn't make it. So the idea being is yeah, I might pop them online on Facebook. Might sell them for $5 or $10 a pop. We'll just wait for the turmeric to take off and get a few nice leaves to it and see how we go. The galangal, I've had a few people ask with the galangal. Vanessa got some the other day, so that's all good. And thank you very much for the chives. Might just give you a mini update on these guys too while we're at it. This is the turmeric pat. We were talking about it the other day. It's doing rather well. This one here pretty much will start it off just from a random piece that was left behind when I harvested the turmeric from the bed last season, and it does do really well in here, I found. I'm rather impressed with the yield we got and just how healthy it's looking. I'm actually thinking about just growing some in the aquaponics and see if we can get a bit of a retail sale for the root. The ginger over here is doing okay, and a couple here have taken off rather well. This is the shop bought, and this is my homegrown save ginger. I did pop that finger root in there. This finger root looks like it's doing well. It's setting up some new growth in the centre, and it's reasonably well rooted. This poor lanky bit here, it keeps blowing over in the wind, but I did notice there's a little green shoot. The phone will focus. There we go. There's a little green shoot down in there, so it's doing all right. And I'm not really sure how well this Kencher ginger is going to go. The system over here is looking good. I am going to make up some BT powder, I've decided, just a small little amount, because we get it in sachets where you've got to make up 5 litres at a time to spray around. I'm just going to make up a little bit with a couple of grains just to spray this plant here, the Brazilian spinach there, and the Brazilian spinach here, because we're starting to get those leaf roll caterpillars back in there. And I've also noticed that we're getting the magpie moth back on these guys, especially over there just behind the pond in the constant fill wicking tub systems. Just in here, the Owen Knock's doing well. It's put on some nice growth. I've got to start some cuttings off soon. I did enjoy the flavour of that one, and we really do need some more leafy greens in here to replace these lettuce. Yeah, they're just all pretty much all gone to flower. Apparently these ones are okay, but Maya did say that these other ones were getting a bit bitter. It's turned into a bit of an update, sorry folks. The other Owen Knock is doing really well. I've actually had a few leaves off this one, but it does need to yeah, be trimmed back and start off the cuttings. I'm not eating too much for the time being because I want to boost the number of plants we have. Just here underneath the Owen Knock we have the garlic chives that Vanessa and a partner brought around. Thank you very much, really do appreciate them. They're one veggie I really do like in the potato salad. Spring onions are one thing, or green onions, but yeah, these guys here, they just add an extra layer of flavour. So I'm actually going to trim them back for Christmas Day lunch with our visitors, I think. Just quickly, last few things, the Perpetual Spinach is pretty much all finished off. As you can see, she's nice and brown. I'm not too sure whether she's a bit too toasty and if the seeds will be viable, but that'll be something I need to check. Oh, all the bells are out at the moment because I'm just topping up the system. Around here the cucumber's going well, another couple to pull off. Just to point out, so far this season, knock on wood, we haven't had any problem with the fruit fly on these guys. I'm just having problems with the male flowers coming out when the female flowers are out to get the fruit to set. Over here, one problem I spotted earlier today is we have a whole heap of the 28 spot lady beetle just basically devouring the leaves. What they do is they eat all the chlorophyll from the underside. If I can get the phone to focus. There we go. They eat all the chlorophyll from the underside and make sort of like a lacy paper design with the rest of the leaf. I came down the other day and I squished all the ones I found on this leaf and this leaf. But yeah, they've pretty much all taken off on the other leaf. Yeah, I got all them. This plant here, I'm sorry to say, Reuben, I'm not too happy with the way she's going, so I'm thinking about just pulling her out and sticking in one of the parthenogenic ones, the self-fertile ones, so we'll see how that goes. It's just not really producing as much as it should, I don't think. Beans are coming on well, continually getting new flowers. We did have a lull there when we had those really hot days. I think it just stopped the fruit from setting. So they're just starting to put a few small ones on now. And that one there, yeah, this one's been attacked unfortunately. So that's a real pain in the butt, probably some sort of bean bug. I do know that we do get a bean fly here, but the rest don't look like they've been affected. Just doing the pH before and didn't come back to double check. pH has been sitting around about 6.2, 6.3 for the week, so I think I might dose it up today just with some calcium hydroxide, and we might throw some feed in for them now. So I'll just pop this in. We really need to do something about the focus on this phone. So now the phone is focused. Whee! Getting a little bit boisterous there. These guys have already been fed, but obviously they're still a little bit hungry. And I'll pop a little bit into those for those guys. The fish in this other tank are a little bit finicky, so I don't throw as much in to begin with these guys. We'll see how they go. Oh no, they're on it, over the back corner there. So I'll come back after I have a bit of a cool, refreshing beverage, and I'll just throw a little bit more in if all the pellets are gone. These guys look like they are hungry. And he puts the phone on the tank and they stop feeding. The bees! I know someone's going to ask, can you do a clip on the bees? I've had so many people ask. I will be getting around to do a little clip on our native Hocking's Eye bees, the stingless ones. It's just on the list of clips to do. I've also got the ginger processing one I still haven't finished, and a few others, so I might try and hide from social media, Facebook and a few other sites for the next couple of weeks and knock off some more clips, because I really do enjoy the YouTubes. So just making the clips and chatting to folks there. But I suppose I really should cover up this fermenting watermelon smell so Maya doesn't complain at me again. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this little bit of a clip. Sort of blew out of proportion there, patrons, so I hope you don't mind me sharing it around. Just quickly at the end, I thought I'd add a little bit of an update. We had a rip-roar of a storm come through yesterday. Actually took out the banana tree. It fell down here and pretty much well knocked over the mulberry playing dominoes, which took out a couple of berries from the powder blue blueberry. Plus Maya told me she's pinched a few already, and also squashed the little passion fruit down there, but no major damage was done. These mulberries are pretty hardy. The banana is what I'm mainly concerned about, because there was a bunch of fruit, or there is a bunch of fruit on there, and it pretty much well landed on the stem of that bunch, and I was a little bit afraid that it may have snapped it. No, major damage to the actual plant itself. It has dislodged a bit of soil in the root pouch. It is actually tied up. There's a root pouch there with some baling twine sort of holding it onto that star picket there, and I will be lashing another bit of twine on the other side and over to the other star picket on that there, just to give it a bit more support, because we will be getting some more summer storms. That's inevitable. But it does look like the fruit is going to survive. We did lose, there's a couple of little native bees buzzing around up there. We did lose a couple of flowers off it, but they're just the male flowers, so I'm not too worried about that. The tree that got hit the most was the moringa. It lost a lot of leaves up there, so that one's going to be pulled down anyway soon. Going to propagate a load of small saplings from the pointy bits. Might do a clip on that, but yeah. Thought I'd just do this little bit of an update. Oh, the other casualty, of course, was our tarp. When I came home, I found the leading edge had been ripped off and it was actually laying down there. And a lot of the bits and pieces I've been sorting out under the house got soaked and blown around with a few smashed buckets and whatnot. But, that's life. I'm more concerned about bananas, to tell you the truth. So I hope you enjoyed that short look at the trench composting, and the other bit of an update I tagged on there as well with the aquaponics and the plants down the back. I'm also going to pop on a little bit at the end, just a short little section on a furry visitor we've had every night to our banana flower just above my head here. So stick around if you want to suss that out. Between now and New Year's, I don't think I'll get much time to do clips and editing and whatnot, so I might post a couple of compilation videos. I've posted over 80 clips now, I think, just for the patrons over on Patreon, so I might knock a few of them together into a bit of a compilation, and you can have a bit of a gander at them if you're interested. Also too, I do hope you all have an absolutely fantastic Christmas or holidays, or however you spend it, with your family and friends. Here we're going to have a fairly quiet one. My parents will drop over after church, and then we've got some friends coming over in the afternoon. So it's going to be a pretty casual affair here. But I hope you have a fantastic one with your friends and family, wherever you are and however you celebrate. I also hope that your gardens are booming, that is if they're not under 2 foot of snow in the northern hemisphere somewhere, and I will catch you next clip. Cheers folks, have a great one. Don't know if you can make that out, but there's a flying fox helping itself to the nectar of our bananas. So not something you see every day. And he's off. So this little fella was a black flying fox, and the reason they're called foxes or flying foxes is because they got a bit of a fox-like look to their face. We've actually got some rather large colonies of them around Ipswich here, so there you go. Hope you enjoyed that quick look. Cheers folks.